47 Weeks, Life and Learnings of a Dietetic Intern. Hey guys, welcome back to 47 Weeks. It's week 40. I have a countdown app on my phone and there are 47 days until graduation. Week 40 was my first staff relief week and I did staff relief for Michelin, which was my first preceptor at the rehab. I got in on Monday and she went over the patients she was following or the new consults she needed to do, and that was 30 minutes and it was like, go, you do it. So it was just, wow, a little bit at first, but I really got into the flow of it. And I still saw Michelin often throughout the week and I was able to text her if I had any questions. I did consults, follow-ups, checked blood work, did chart notes, booked my own MBSs, even though the dietitian has to be there with you when you're there with a speech-language pathologist. Went to the weekly team conference where you discuss, with the doctor, the OT, the physio, the social workers, nurses, everybody about the patients, their progress, and their estimated date of discharge. So one of the occupational therapists that I actually was working with for the same patients turned out to be my next door neighbor. So that's really cool, and she's super nice, and we went and we chatted afterwards, and we also chatted in the hallway in my new building, and she has a really big dog that doesn't like small dogs. So what are the chances? That's so cool. Such a small world. Some days were definitely better than others. I had to fill out consult forms, and in order to do that I needed to consult and assess the patient. And a lot of the patients, they have physiotherapy, they just like to go for a walk, hang out somewhere else, and there was a few in particular that were just never at their bed when I went to try to fill it out. So it just felt like certain days I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. And Friday definitely didn't go as planned. My Friday morning started with my preceptor and I going to a class on ALS and medical assistance in dying, because now that's going to be legal to be done in Canada, which is really the right thing to do. And then we went to do a swallowing assessment, and I had the whole morning lined up with a diet education and a family conference, except I had a family emergency. I had like 7 missed calls from Skylar and 1 from my super, and apparently this guy was barking so loud that people could hear him downstairs, and we live on the 5th floor. 4 hours. So I rushed home to make sure he was okay. Turns out his Kong was missing, which normally helps keep him calm when we're not here. And the next door neighbor's dog actually bumped into him on their morning walk, and he was just so still stressed out from then. Whenever I tried to leave to go back to internship, he kept barking and howling. So I stayed. I felt really bad that I couldn't see the patients that I wanted to. We got some more toys to try to keep him distracted, like this guy, and another Kong. And a little thing that emits a sound when he barks, so that he might not want to do it as much. Thursday was the intern meeting, and we actually had it at the public gardens. At first we took our group photo for the intern class, and then we sat around in the family area in a circle and did our meeting, which was mostly grad planning and talking about different regulatory bodies across Canada in case any of the interns get jobs somewhere else. Wednesday was one of the nights I worked at Salty's, and instead of biking all the way home and then biking back for work, I just spent a couple hours in between internship and work at the office, and I napped at the desk there. And one of the dietitians, Karen, who's so sweet, was so worried that I wouldn't wake up in time to make it to my shift that she went home and she had a dream that we all had some kind of event at the rehab, and we just decided we would all sleep there. And we just slept in our chairs and then woke up the next day after someone knocked and thought it was a great idea that we were already at work. What I did this weekend, well, I drove to the rehab and left some notes for the dietitian so that she knew what was urgent next week that I might have not gotten done on Friday, and some other notes about the patients that I saw throughout my staff relief. This weekend we also went to a 4-month birthday party for our friend's cute little baby, and there was so much food and sushi that they had made in a big Mario life-sized balloon and we played Clue and watched Friends and talked a lot about being dog parents and regular parents. Saturday we also hung out with our awesome friends Lauren and Graham, and they came over and we drank beer and they helped us hang up some of our things on our walls because since our move we hadn't done it yet. And we tried making jerk tofu, but it turned out way too spicy. So all of us were drinking a lot of water and milk and then we couldn't even eat it. My learnings for the week include how to enter in the fancy statistics. When you're an intern, you have to enter in, the hours you spent, doing learning, observing, working independently, except this time it's more broken down per patient and you enter in the minutes you spent assessing them or seeing them or planning your caseload, so it actually takes more time to input everything that way. I quickly relearned how much more mentally tiring it is to be in a clinical setting and be making all these decisions and problem solving, but it really does make the time go by really quickly. I learned that prosthetic breasts cost $1,000, which is really expensive, and you're most likely going to need 2 in case you want to change them up or wash them. And I learned that individuals that drink scalding hot beverages are putting themselves at risk for cancer, because when you burn your esophagus, you increase the scar tissue, and scar tissue increases risk of cancer. Both of those last things I learned at the intern meeting. We drifted off topic a little bit. Next week I'm at Partners for Healthier Weight, which is one of my elective weeks, and I've been reading the information booklet for their program, and I'm quite excited to be driving instead of biking next week. I'm also going to go in to see my QI advisor and talk about my report that I submitted and see if there are any revisions, and find out if I ever got the TRIC grant that I applied for, and discuss my staff relief week with my preceptor. So the week could go really good or really bad. I hope I got the grant. I definitely worked Canada Day weekend. I definitely wasn't allowed to take any time off because it's a really busy time for the restaurant. But there's a barbecue during the day in the building, and there's going to be free hot dogs and burgers and refreshments, and we'll get to know the people in our building. Hopefully they won't be so mad at Bandit barking that day once they kind of get to know us and we win over their love. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for watching, and remember, sustain your body, sustain your life.